Pretty deep stuff, huh? Gives you a lot to think about. So, take a few minutes, hit pause on the video, and ask your trainer, why do we do what we do at our club? And your trainer will explain to you what your club's message is. After you're done, hit play and we'll keep going. Okay, now that you know what your club's message is, you now know how to re-deliver that message if anybody ever asks you what you do. You'll simply be able to tell them exactly what your club does, how your club is different, and why people choose to be members of your club. Now let's talk about radical hospitality. But before we get started, we want to share a secret with you. Now let's be honest, that isn't our secret, that is actually quote unquote the secret. And if you don't know what the secret is, and you didn't pick it up from the video, the secret is the law of attraction. But what is the law of attraction? The law of attraction, simply stated, is the belief that like attracts like, that positive thoughts and positive energy lead to positive results, and that negative thoughts and negative energy lead to negative results. But how does that really equate to the idea of radical? Well, first you have to ask yourself, what does the word radical mean to me? To some, radical means going to the extreme. To others, it means taking drastic measures. Either way, the word radical is synonymous with a desire or a passion to get something done. So let's take a look at a quick video about some radical people.
Dismissed from drama school with a note that read, "Wasting her time. She's too shy to put her best foot forward." Turned down by the Decca Recording Company, who said, "We don't like their sound and guitar music is on the way out." A failed soldier, farmer, and real estate agent. At 38 years old, he went to work for his father as a handyman. Cut from the high school basketball team, he went home, locked himself in his room, and cried. A teacher told him he was too stupid to learn anything, and he should go into a field where he might succeed by virtue of his pleasant personality. Fired from a newspaper because he lacked imagination and had no original ideas. His fiancée died, he failed in business twice, he had a nervous breakdown, and he was defeated in 8 elections. If you've never failed, you've never lived.
Now that video is a lot of fun because it gives us insight into what those individuals were like before they became the iconic people we know them to be today. And that insight shows us that these people realized that they weren't perfect. They just had a burning desire to be great or do great things. They knew that life was progress, not perfection. So they were going to keep trying and failing and trying and failing until they got it right. So what made these individuals unique? They were magnetic. Their passion and their energy to do what they were driven to do caused people to swarm to them. They were drawn in by their positive energy. It was almost like a gravitational pull that pulled people towards them. And the more they aspired for greatness, the more people rallied to their cause. Their burning desire to never lose sight of their goals is what drove them to be radical people. We have to do the same thing in order to deliver radical hospitality. So let's talk about what it means to be radical in our club environment and deliver radical hospitality. Radical hospitality to us means going above and beyond the anticipated expectations to meet and exceed our members' and guests' unrecognized needs, and we're happy to do it. And that really is the secret sauce. It's not something we go around saying, hey, I'm happy to do it. Oh, no problem, happy to do it. We genuinely feel a smile inside that makes us feel happy to do it. So we begin there, and we work on our radical hospitality programs, and that gets us to the point of radical hospitality. Okay, so now it's time to find out how your club delivers radical hospitality. Hit pause on the video real quick. Ask your trainer, how do we offer radical hospitality? After you're done, hit play and we'll keep going. Okay, now that you know what your club does to deliver radical hospitality, you now have insight into the passion that your team has for delivering the difference at every moment and making the experience matter for the members and guests that come to your club. And if you're anything like me, you're probably sitting there saying to yourself, you know what? I can do this.
this.
So now, take out your sheet marked Radical Hospitality Commitment. Hit pause on the video and tell your trainer how you intend to be radical. Now that we're at the end of the week, you're probably sitting there thinking, wow, we've covered a lot this week, and that's true. But don't let the scope of everything overwhelm you. Remember, it's progress, not perfection. So let's do a quick recap and review. Let's start by asking ourselves two quick questions. What have we covered, and what's the value of it? On day one, we started off by talking about living the guiding principles. And it was really important that we started there, because all decision making for the club and for the company begins with the guiding principles in mind. On day 2, we really got into the meat and potatoes of training when we began discussing delivering the difference. We started off by discussing the standards for success. And remember, there were 4 of them: respect, removing apathy, follow through, and the importance of setting the bar. And we wrapped day 2 by discussing the 3-step process that is Eagle 1.0. Step 1, give a warm and engaging welcome using names and introducing yourself. If it's the first time you've met a member or guest, reach out, shake their hand, welcome them in, and introduce yourself. If you're seeing a member or guest for a second or third or fourth time, simply extend your hand, welcome them back in. Step 2, anticipate needs and commit to exceed expectations and be happy to do it. And again, remember, we don't just say we're happy to do it, we actually have to feel inside happy to do it. And then step 3, give a warm and sincere goodbye using their names again and inviting them back while guiding them to their next destination. And this could be as simple as walking them to the door, but take advantage of this time to invite them back in. On day 3, we turned our attentions away from the more technical or detailed aspects of service and took a look at service from a more broad perspective in creating third place. And remember, third place is the place your members and guests want to be when they're not at home or they're not at work. Also on day 3, we discussed the 3 P's to success. And remember, the 3 P's were people, product, and place. And the importance of being able to walk into a room and instantly assess the 3 P's at both level 1 and level 2. On day 4, we began by focusing on checklists and balances. And remember, that's all about accountability and productivity. On the accountability side, that's utilizing the checklists that we have to create good habits so that eventually we won't actually need the physical checklists, we'll simply have created daily habits. That will lead us to the productivity side. So on the productivity side, we have to ask ourselves, how do we do tomorrow in 9 minutes what took us today 10 minutes to do? And then continue pushing forward so that we can get to the point we're doing it in 8 minutes or 7 minutes or less. That's productivity. We finished day 4 by talking about ownership of service and the cycle that comes along with that. In addition to that, we talked about moments of influence and understanding that every single moment we have in front of our members and guests, we have the opportunity to influence that to the positive or to the negative, and how we have to be focused on each individual moment and paying attention to, are we influencing that to the positive or are we influencing that to the negative, and taking count of those so that at the end of every meal we feel good about the fact that we have delivered a memorable experience because more of the moments have been influenced to the positive than to the negative. We capped off the week today by understanding how to re-deliver the club's message. Now, whether that means to our friends and family, our social media connections, or heck, just someone we meet on the street, we now know how to re-deliver not just what the club does or how the club is uniquely different, but why the club does what it does and how we are a part of that unique experience for our members and guests. And in addition to my message, we learned probably the most important aspect of Eagle's one-way training program, and that is how to deliver radical hospitality. Now, if you have any questions about any aspect of anything that's been covered over the 5 days of training, take a moment after this video, sit down with your trainer, ask all the questions that you have, and get all the answers that you need to feel comfortable about going out onto the floor and delivering a radical experience. We appreciate you very much. Thank you for being a part of the Eagle team. Take care and have a wonderful day.